Broadcasting from Big 12 Football Media Days from Frisco, Texas. Kansas State Wildcats on display for today. Joining us now here on Radio Row, VJ Payne, safety for the K-State Wildcats. VJ, glad to have you here.
Yes, sir.
Looking
Thank you.
dapper. Absolutely, man.
Thank you.
Looking dapper. Back in the spring, I know it was a little bit different because the coaching staff made the decision to focus more so on getting in the weight room and really honing in on that.
Yes, sir.
Didn't have as many practices that you normally can do.
Yes,
So
sir.
I'm sure it was different, but for a guy who is experienced as yourself, I'm sure you're okay with some of the reps not being out there on the football field. So take me through what spring ball was like this year for you. How did you feel like things went for spring ball here for 2025 going into the season?
Yes, sir. Spring ball and then the offseason, honestly, I feel like the coaches did a great job modifying on how we went about it because, we have that week 0 game. That's one of the reasons that they made spring ball a little bit shorter, but also, like you said, focusing on putting on weight, keeping the speed up or increasing your speed. I feel like that was a great thing that our team did this offseason. A lot of guys putting on good weight. There's a difference between good weight and bad weight. Good weight, you putting on lean muscle mass and you lowering your fat, or your fat is staying the same. Bad weight, you just adding a whole bunch of fat and you're getting slower. So everybody was adding good weight. I'm excited to see how that's going to turn out in fall camp coming up in 2 weeks. And so, I'm excited to see what the boys are going to do when it comes to fall camp.
I know for spring ball, it almost feels like it's geared toward the offense, right? It's the 7-on-7 drills.
Yep.
It's stuff like that to where you're protecting your body, as you should. It's a very grueling game. You have to watch yourself. I always wonder what it's like as a defensive player, especially this year considering you didn't really have everyone available out there.
Yes,
you
sir.
didn't have Austin Romaine. You had some guys who were dinged up, so you really didn't get a full look at what the defense could really be like going into fall camp. So how did you make the most out of it, not having everyone out there to try to get those quality reps to make it work going into the season?
Yeah, with the guys that are out there, it does suck not having everybody out there during spring ball because you would like to see how it feels having this guy in this position or another guy in a position or just communicating with certain people that's going to be on the field. But then again, you never know who's going to be on the field with you when it comes to game time. So it's also a good thing because you're communicating with different people, making sure you're on the same page with them. You're building the chemistry with everybody that's on the defense. So it has its pros and its cons. But, it does tend to suck in a way because you don't have everybody on the field with you. So, yeah.
Yeah. What was last season like? I know for you and for everyone, the goal is to win a Big 12 championship. Didn't happen. You did end up with a bowl game, which is great, which that always feels good, right, going into the next season.
Yes, sir.
But what did last season teach you and the squad going into 2025 that could be beneficial for this year?
Yeah, one thing that I see is we were 7-1, and then towards the end of the season we went 8-4. So that's it's crazy, honestly. But I think with that, you just can't get complacent. We was hot. We was rolling 7-1 going into that 9th or 8th game. And honestly, you can't just think, oh, we're 7-1, rah. People are just going to come in and just do whatever. No, people it's a Big 12. Like, it's a serious league. Like, people going to come in or are going to come in. Whether you're playing at their stadium, you're playing at our stadium, they're going to come in and give you your best foot. You got to be ready for it. And don't allow yourself to get complacent. Don't let success determine how you put your foot forward every day. So I think that's one thing that I think we can do better from last year. Don't let a good record dictate on how you go about yourself Sunday or actually throughout the whole week.
Yeah.
Always leading up to Monday practice, Tuesday practice, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, where we're just doing meetings in the hotel, and then up to Saturday, honestly.
Yeah, VJ Payne joining us here, K-State Wildcat gearing up for the 2025 season, previewing it here at Big 12 Football Media Days. You look at the defensive back unit as a whole, VJ, you have a couple of guys that get their name called in the NFL draft, which is very special. I'm sure for you,
Yeah.
you're thinking, hey, I would love for that to happen. But
Yes,
with
sir.
them being gone, you now look at the defensive back group and go, all right, who's going to take over the leadership role? How have you gone about your business,
Yep.
maybe taking over as that guy?
Yes, sir.
I'm sure you've had many conversations with Coach Klanderman and
Yes,
Coach
sir.
Kleiman about
Yep.
how you can maybe be a better leader. So,
Yes, sir.
in what ways have you gone about trying to improve on that aspect for a defensive back unit that did lose a couple of guys that ended up going pro?
Yeah. Just the biggest thing being the voice of the defense. Uh, whether we're having issues on or off the field, and the defense needs to be addressed, just address it before it becomes a problem. Doing that, being an efficient communicator at all three levels, D-line, linebacker, and on the back end, to where I know what everybody's doing. We don't have any MAs. We don't have any mess-ups. So I would just say being the voice of the defense, making sure everybody's on the same page, and just making sure that chemistry is going through all three levels. So when it's time to go into fall camp and week 0, we're ready to go.
Yeah. Well, with you, I think we know what we can expect in the safety position. What about the other safety group? What have you seen from that group? I know there's one guy who has been part of the Big 12 that's joining it, which I
Yeah.
think is going to be great because
Yes,
I loved watching him last year, and
Yep.
I think it's going to be very unique to see how he gels with you and everyone
Yes,
else
sir.
at the back end.
Gunner, he came in. Great guy, stays out of trouble. In the locker room, he meshes well with everybody in the locker room, and that also helps with on the field things like playbook wise. He understands the playbook well. He's gonna give it 100. He's gonna give 100% just by the way he carries himself, the way he goes about his work every day. So we're excited to see him at that free safety position, going at it. You love to see him put his head down and work every day. So I'm excited to see him back there with me.
When you look at the rest of the Big 12, there's definitely a lot of talent, but you can only go up against the talent that's there in practice. You're going up against those practice squad guys.
Yep.
And I know you have Avery, who can definitely run and throw.
Yes, sir.
But you have Jace Brown out there. I think a lot of people, there's a lot of hype around Jace for this upcoming year. You got some newcomers that everyone's excited about. So how much they challenge you. I know you're the safety here, so you're not quite there on the edge playing corner, maybe go one-on-one with some of those guys. Maybe you're trying to lock up with Garrett Oakley and Will Hancio and the rest of the tight end group, but how much do they challenge you in practice on a regular basis? How much do they challenge you in spring, I guess?
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that came in. Two guys that stick out that did their thing in the spring. Tibbs and then JB, two transfer guys, them coming in, working with the playbook, they're fitting in with the scheme of the offense. They don't mind to get dirty. They don't mind to go run a deep route. They don't mind to do a shallow route. It doesn't matter what they're doing. They're going to give it their 100%. They're good route runners, good deep ball players. With them two and then Jace is going to be – I'm excited to see that in the fall, and then also Garrett Oakley, the tight ends. I love going against the tight end group. Those are probably the guys that I go against the most. It's always good competition with the offensive skill guys. So I'm excited to see how that competition that we do either whether it's in the weight room or on the field, I'm excited to see how that's going to blossom in the fall.
What's it like playing for Coach Klanderman specifically, the guy who's in charge of the defense?
Yeah, I love playing for Coach Klanderman because I know he's going to give me his all, and that's what I want to give back to him. I want to give him my all day in and day out. He's going to put you in positions to make plays. He's going to put you in positions to show your best attributes as a player. So, when you have a coach like that, you don't want to do anything but give him your 100%, honestly, because, he's giving you his by, study, like tuning the playbook, making little tweaks to make it putting you in positions, like I said, where you're making plays and you're showing off your skill set. So, yeah, when you have a coach like him, you don't want to do anything but give him 100%.
As a freshman, you were a part of a team that won the Big 12 championship.
Yes, sir.
What does it take? And I know you're a freshman, so things are different now, but what does it take to be a Big 12 championship caliber team? What's it going to take this year? I know it's probably a loaded question because it's not just one group or one dude, but
Yeah.
you were around that group
I
as a
was.
freshman,
Yeah, I
so
was.
you see a lot.
Yep.
You saw
Mhm.
okay, this is what's going to take to be a
Yeah.
Big 12 championship team.
You know, I would say the maturity level of the team has to be there. Being mature, going about your day, the same day that you would usually go every other day, whether we're just doing recovery in the weight room or we're out there running sprints with everybody, or whether it's spring ball, you're gonna give it your 100% every day, and then that's all gonna correlate into the fall. Like I said earlier with the 71 incident, and then going 8-4 in the year, I feel like once we learn that maturity factor, once we get down, everybody being on the same page and following those four core values that we go by: discipline, commitment, toughness, and be selfless, we're going to be unstoppable, honestly. That's in my opinion. So once we get everybody on the same page and we all abide by those four core values, it's going to be good. I'm excited to see it.
So why the switch in numbers from 19 to 7?
So I've been wanting number 7 for the past 2 years, but they've been taken, and with this being my last year, and I saw the number was for free, like nobody was owning it. I was like, "Sir, I need this number. It's my last year. Like, come through for me." And so he came through for me. I told Sir, he let me have the number, and so I'm excited to play in that number again. It was my senior year in high school, and I had that number, so I'm excited.
Okay, right on. I was
Yep.
wondering what the significance was
Yes, sir.
with the number 7.
Yep.
'Cause that's the first thing I think we realized when we looked at the roster and said VJ Payne 7.
Yep.
Like, hold on, he wasn't 7 last
Yeah,
year.
I
What's
was
going
19.
on?
Yeah.
Yeah, so a little bit different when it comes to that. When you are away from football, when you're away from training, workouts, whatever it might be, recovering for that matter, what do you find yourself doing? Are you checking your overall rating and the latest video game, or what's something that VJ Payne does away
Yeah.
from the football field?
Honestly, I like to be outdoors. I've been saying this today quite a bit. I've recently gotten into golf.
Okay.
I'm okay. I'm still learning. I told myself when I got my club set, I said I'm gonna give myself 2 weeks. If I don't see no progress, I don't see nothing going for myself with golf, I'm gonna go return the clubs and I'm gonna just find something else. But still to this day, I still have the clubs. So
Okay.
obviously, I'm getting a little bit better. So I'm trying to be more consistent with my driver. My
That's
chipping.
always challenging.
Yeah, my chipping game. My short game's not bad. My putter's pretty good. And
Chipping's the hardest.
yeah, it is. So that's so when I tend to have my off days, that's where I'm usually either on the course somewhere or I'm at the range for about an hour 30 working on my swing. Yeah.
All right. So big golf guy, working on the driver.
Yes,
Are
sir.
you a hook guy or a splice guy? Do you hook or
No.
does it fade?
Fade.
Okay.
So what I've learned, recently my ball keeps slicing right. And I've been asking my teammates because there's some good players on the team that know how to golf for real. And so I either end up at the course with them or I just ask them, like, hey, why is my ball doing this? And they'll give me pointers. And
Yeah.
then they'll help me out. And so just trying to take those tips to put into my game.
Well, here's the thing for VJ Payne. I am not the athlete that you are. I learned a long time ago from someone. I think it would have been probably 8 years ago because I'm not that great of a golfer.
Yes, sir.
And I'm not the athlete, all right? But I learned this a long time ago. Someone just said, go be an athlete.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, boy, it's so true because you
Yeah.
get caught up with my grip's messed up. I'm
Yeah.
holding too hard with my left compared to my right, or maybe the fingers aren't in the right spot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm too far away from the
Yeah.
ball, so I got to get a little bit closer. I'm not rounding out my swing quite as
Yep.
much. There's a million things that you can do to change it,
Yep.
but I think someone said it best when they just said, go be an athlete.
Yeah.
So for you, go be an athlete,
Yes,
my
sir.
man. That's what you do.
Yes, sir.
VJ, appreciate your time, man.
Thank
Best
you.
of luck to you this upcoming year, and best
Yes,
of health
sir.
as well.
Thank you.